There is a voice that has defined over 50 years of American cinema, deep, deliberate, unhurried, and unforgettable. It has made ordinary cowboys legendary and turned whispered goodbyes into poetry. And yet, that voice almost never existed. For nearly 20 years, Sam Elliott was Hollywood's almost choice, the face everyone recognized but couldn't place, the name that left audition rooms empty-handed while safer bets claimed the roles meant for him. He did not arrive young and golden. He was built slowly, like a canyon, shaped by pressure, erosion, and an unyielding refusal to vanish. Behind the mustache, the drawl, and one of the most recognizable voices in film was a man shaped by a wound that never fully healed. A father who died before witnessing a single triumph. A love story quietly extraordinary. A late-life controversy threatening everything he had built. How does a man survive 20 years in Hollywood's wilderness and emerge iconic on his own terms? Born August 9, 1944 in Sacramento, California, Sam grew up with a practical, distant father and a quiet, steady mother. Emotional approval was rare, and that distance carved a wound that would take decades to understand. A move to Portland at 13 deepened his sense of not belonging, but the Oregon wilderness offered a quiet refuge where he could simply exist. At the University of Oregon, Sam discovered his calling, acting, not as a hobby, but as the path his life was meant to follow. His father disapproved quietly but firmly, believing in practical, measurable work. Sam tried odd jobs, even worked as a land surveyor, but the pull of acting could not be denied. In the mid-1960s, he moved to Los Angeles, without connections, without confidence, only with stubbornness. Hollywood did not welcome him. Too quiet for comedy, too intense for light drama, too unconventional for leading man standards. Bit parts, commercials, waiting tables, parking cars. The years were grueling, marked by hope sustained on thin evidence. Then, in 1970, his father died, never seeing the mustache, the drawl, the voice that would one day stop the world. Sam Elliott survived, persisted, and became the icon Hollywood almost overlooked, shaped not by what he was given, but by what was withheld. The absence of his father shaped everything Sam Elliott became, about legacy, about validation, about enduring when no one was watching. He persisted, not for reward, but because some men are built so that stopping is not an option. That wound made him quieter, more certain, immovable. The boy from Portland denied his father's approval, waited in Hollywood, refusing to be anything but himself. The 1970s were full of almosts. Small TV roles, near misses, never breaking through yet never fading. Talent wasn't the issue. He was too authentic, steady, and unflinching for Hollywood's trend-driven heroes. He waited, prepared, and took every role seriously. Lifeguard, 1976, gave him his first lead. Modest, overlooked, but proof he could carry a film. Quietly, Catherine Ross sustained him. They met in 1969, reconnected in 1978, married in 1984, and welcomed their daughter, Cleo Rose, the same year. Love deliberate without spectacle. Hollywood eventually noticed. Roadhouse, 1989, cemented him in the cultural imagination. Wade Garrett, calm amid chaos, a man who had already survived everything the story tested. Tombstone, 1993, followed. Virgil Earp didn't dominate. He grounded the film, lending steady authenticity amid Russell and Kilmer. By the mid-1990s, Elliott's decades of presence transformed his career. Film after film, performance after performance, Hollywood called him for truth on screen. Recognition arrived quietly. Life continued in Malibu, family anchored in place. Fame came late, but fully. A Star is Born, 2018, showed him at his peak. Bobby Maine, tender, protective, devastating in quiet, precise ways. Awards followed, long overdue. Even Controversy, his blunt remarks on the power of the dog, didn't break him. He apologized directly, plainly, standing by the authenticity that defined his life. Decades of westerns, action films, and grueling shoots shaped Sam Elliott, but his presence, voice, and integrity remained absolute. At home in Malibu, With Catherine and their daughter Cleo, he lives quietly, deliberately, proving that patience and authenticity outlast spectacle. Fame came late. Roadhouse, Tombstone, A Star is Born, 1883. But each role showcased the steady, uncompromising humanity he had built over decades. Even controversy could not shake him. His radical trait has always been being exactly himself. At 80, Elliott stands as a master of craft, a devoted father, a loyal husband, and a man whose life and work are inseparable. Sam Elliott has never been performative. The mustache, the drawl, the presence, these are not props but extensions of himself. In an era of manufactured personas, he remains a reminder that authenticity need not be curated. The camera loves him not because of conventional beauty, but because he is undeniably real. He embodies presence, fully here, fully human, a man whose life has always been measured by endurance, integrity, and patience rather than applause. His father never lived to see it. Henry Elliott, who measured worth in tangible achievement, missed the mustache, the voice, the legacy. That absence remains a quiet ache, a reminder of the cost of becoming oneself without witnessing. Yet, across 6 decades of uncompromising work, a marriage that has outlasted industry storms, and a life lived with deliberate attention, Sam Elliott has proven that the truest measure of success is not recognition. It is simply being who you are, fully and without compromise. In his daughter Cleo, Sam Elliott's name carries both gift and weight into a life of her own. In his performances, the record of cinema preserves a man who proved that authenticity is not a style, it is a discipline. Sam Elliott did not build an empire. He built a life, so aligned with his work that the line between the two barely exists. The work reflected the man, and the man never stopped being worth the reflection. When credits have accumulated, awards received, controversies settled, and ordinary mornings compounded into decades, what remains is unmistakable. A voice unlike any other, a face shaped by time into itself, a marriage that quietly defies cynicism, a daughter finding her own path, and a coastline walked at the right pace, a career built not on what the world demanded, but on what one man knew, with the stubborn certainty that he had to give. The long wait was not punishment, it was preparation. Every near miss, every empty audition, every role that went to someone else, built the man strong enough to carry what eventually arrived. He waited, he endured, he refused, he remained. And the world finally had no choice but to look. What it found was Sam Elliott, exactly as he always was, exactly as he always will be. If his story moves you, share it. Not because Sam Elliott needs it, he has lived 8 decades without requiring the world's approval, but because we need the reminder that patience is not weakness, that authenticity is not naivety, and that a life built slowly, deliberately, without the crowd's permission, is the life worth building. Leave a comment below. What does Sam Elliott's journey mean to you? What part of yourself does his refusal to compromise still awaken? Because if his story teaches anything, it is this: the wait is not the enemy.